Alrighty, folks. Yes, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything. Been a bit busy, but 'tis the season. One of my favorite times of year. October. Where I get older, the leaves get older, they fall off trees and die. And, yes, my favorite holiday, if there is one. Halloween. So let's get a bit spooky. Of course, we're gonna play in nightmare mode. And I'll shut up and let this explain itself.
I'm tired of traveling, or fighting superstition in its many manifestations. Even though it was me who chose to debunk folklore and mysticism. Little did I know I'd end up being labeled as Patrick Galloway, the man with endless occult knowledge. Before I knew it, people all over the world paid me to investigate all kinds of weird things. As long as they paid me, I'd look into it. Funny thing though, the more I saw, the more I believed there are forces beyond our control. Creatures not explainable in any human terms. Things that make my skin crawl. I fled from Ireland and hung around Paris and London with no real purpose till the Great War started. I joined a special unit whose job it was to squelch the fears of the superstitious farm boys who made up the fighting ranks. The Trasanti were the biggest pains. New commanding officer, Jeremiah Covenant, led our unit on the hunt for their camp. We were ambushed. They came streaming out of the woods, waving swords and howling like banshees. I saw their leader holding a strange stone over his head, yelling weird words in a strange tongue. And just when I was gonna pull the trigger, he glared right at me. A bright green flash came from his hand, and it bowled me over as my gun went off. I woke up in a hospital bed with severe burns. They told me Jeremiah and the unit had gone on without me, but he'd given me the shaman stone to keep. I hadn't given any of this much thought until I came back here to find this letter that Jeremiah wrote me almost 6 months ago, asking me to come back to Ireland and help him out. This is not something I'm dying to do, for it may mean the death of me. He saved my life though, so I owe it to him. Just hope it's not too late.
Yes. So, we are playing Clive Barker's Undying. One of my favorite freaking authors. Besides Lovecraft when it comes to horror. Okay. So, I have to read to access your journal. Let's read it real quick. Each time my past fades from memory, fate has a terrible habit of reawakening me. Most often the unpleasant name of Otto Kessinger as the vehicle of remembrance, but not today. My old friend and commanding officer in the Great War, Jeremiah Covenant, has sent word. It's been years since I have heard from him. His letter came whilst I was away, sitting unopened for nearly 6 months. My joy at reading his name was quickly replaced by sorrow, then by fear. Jeremiah has fallen ill and requires my assistance at his estate in Ireland. I have not set foot on Irish soil since poor Gwendolyn's death, and I did not think anything could make me return. Could I have been responsible for her death? Being legally exiled from my homeland was painful, but nothing in comparison to my memories. How did she end up on the floor? How could so much blood come without a sound? How was that knife in my hand? And why was Kessinger suddenly nowhere to be found? But Jeremiah saved my life, and I cannot deny any request he would make. The necessity of my presence is somewhat vague, as his letter at times was incoherent. He speaks of his sickness as a family illness no medicine can cure. So this is our journal. We have our objectives. So meet with your old friend Jeremiah Covenant. That was just the exposition. And we have our various items here that we have at the moment. Okay, so the Jeziabar. Good old Barker and God, Lovecraft and everyone with their freaking words. They're such a pain to pronounce. Alright. Jeziabar stone. I've carried this artifact ever since the day Jeremiah gave it to me following the battle with the Trasanti. It seems to throw out a shockwave of considerable force, and ever since I acquired the stone, I've noticed strange sightings and visual anomalies. However, the power of the stone has its dark side. On occasion, a beast from beyond this world has attacked me. My only explanation for its appearance is that I was using the stone's power for too long. I've not seen the beast for a while. Of course, I have not needed the stone. And a revolver. I trust a revolver. A 6-shot weapon of forged metal grace. Durable, yet lightweight. My military piece has seen many a country and spilled much blood over the years. And Scry, okay, a spell that allows me to see and bear and hear past events from the geographic location in which I happen to be standing. It also casts an ethereal light on enemies in darker areas, giving me the ability to see my foes as well as find my way. I must be careful in its use. It has no offensive power and it seems to drain my energies for short durations. Learned men have stated that they believe man has yet to unlock the full potential of the mind. While traveling to the Orient after the war, I met up with a local seer who told me that I was one of the chosen few, one of the handful of individuals that he had ever met that had this ability. He called it scrying, to be able to read portions of the past. Most of the people who possess this power, he said, over the course of their lives eventually fell into disability, mind tired from the barrage of images and sounds that could be heard from both the past and the present, the real and unreal. I know I have the ability to scry because of the subtle words I hear calling me at times, begging me to look deeper into the past, deeper at what actually isn't even in front of me. But I am truly wondering if this is the gift I dreamed of or a sick curse placed on me by an outside force. So yeah, you can already see the Clive Barker horror bits coming to light. Nice, I love this game though. So, look. Oh god. The low polygons. This was so freaky back in the day. I remember playing this. I think I was in the army when it actually came out. Playing this on my laptop. Let's go.
You're Jeremiah's old war buddy, right?
Yes, I am. So I can actually run over the rats and kill them, but as long as they're not attacking me, I don't care. There's some bats there. Let's go inside and get going.
I'm Patrick Galloway, a friend of Jeremiah's. Sorry it took me so long to get here. His letter said it was most urgent.
Jeremiah is beginning to think that the letter never arrived in your hands. He's been quite anxious to see you. We've all been quite worried. Jeremiah's now bedridden. Follow me and I'll show you to his living quarters.
I'm not sure what engine this was in. Reminds me of like an old Quick engine or Alice engine,
but
which
there's
was
only a
quick.
skeleton crew of servants now. Jeremiah let go of everyone else, and the house is much too
those
large for us
stairs
to
animations.
clean. Because we've lost electricity to most parts of the house, we can only maintain the living quarters. This family's had so much tragedy. I hope you can help him.
So do I. And I will. Okay, so this is actually an older game. I picked this up off of GOG, even though I have the CD somewhere. I am using a widescreen patch for it, which doesn't distort the channel or anything, so... Oh! Here we go. Something foul is afoot here. Okay, let's go grab these items.
Jammed. Jammed.
Patrick, you made it.
At your service, Jeremiah. Sorry for the delay, but I've been abroad. What happened to you?
It seems I've come under the watchful eye of the Reaper, my friend. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Apparently too long.
Patrick, I came back from the war only to find my entire estate in disarray. My brother Aaron disappeared first, and then my sister Bethany. My declining health is a result of an old war wound, and unfortunately, the symptoms are irreversible. I didn't summon you here to watch me die. I need your help.
Anything I can do. Just name it.
Strange events began happening around the manor. After thinning out my staff, they ransacked my estate, taking whatever they could carry. The rest of the help was quick to follow, as they feared rumors of my family's curse. I can't help but think it's more than a coincidence that strange happenings have increased since I've been back from the war. I want to get to the bottom of this, but I'm just too weak to investigate it myself. I'm relying on you to step in for me.
Of course, Jeremiah. The only reason I risk coming back here is to assist you however I can.
My thanks to you, Patrick.
What the hell is that?
Sounds like it came from downstairs.
I'll check it out. Lock the door behind me.
Okay, new journal entry. So, I've arrived in time, apparently just in time. Completely bedridden, Jeremiah is the shadow of his old self, appearing many pounds and a few shades lighter. His explanation for calling me is still unclear. He speaks of strange happenings around the estate, problems that he is unable to rectify in his weakened state, and has requested that I investigate. I, of course, agreed. Before I could ponder where to begin my exploration, the servant who showed me to Jeremiah's room screamed from downstairs. Often, where to begin is the most difficult step. So yeah, good old freaking horror trope.
Stop.
God, spooky noise, I better go investigate it.
Jammed.
Yeah, nothing bad could ever happen. So I got my pistol, and let's get going. I know I've been kind of quiet so far. It's because I do not like talking during cutscenes. Oh, hello.
Jammed. Stuck.
Just refamiliarize myself with the controls. There we go. Alrighty. Let's find out. Well, that looks totally non-ominous at all. My trackball's acting up. Oh, great. That doesn't seem to like working. Sorry about this, folks. Here. Work. There we go. Alright, let's go. See what we can find.
Can you describe what you can only
hello,
see?
Ghost Man.
As the bonds of flesh are broken, the world becomes apparent.
That's good to know. Grab those bullets. Trying to remember how you switch items. I think it's, yep, just like most games. Okay, cool. I have a health pack selected. Yeah, mirrors in horror games. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Oh my god, I died already. Really? Oh yeah, I'm on nightmare difficulty. Derp, I'm an idiot. Tell me I don't have to start. Okay, I'm just gonna start from there. Alright, we can rush through this. It's been a while since I played this. Let's see, did I get the bullets already? These will come in handy.
What you can only see.
There's our ghostly friend again.
As the bonds of flesh are broken, the world becomes apparent.
I might have to readjust my sensitivity before I play this
Jammed.
again. Just because, yeah, playing with the trackball is interesting to say the least. Completely possible to play FPS games with the trackball. Oh, you sneaky bastard. Both there, that's why. Jump! Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm already down to 31 life. Use a health pack. Oh god. I'm gonna have to Oh, there's two of them. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh, damn it. Maybe I should play on normal. Oh, God. Move. Is that what's on my head? Oh, okay. Use that health back. Oh god, I'm sucking. No, go away. Ah, where's the freaking... Oh, great. In the door. Are you kidding me? This is almost like playing Painkiller without all the enemies. Actually, let me see. Adjust my sensitivity. Advanced. Look spraying, mouth smoothing, auto slope. Oh, it doesn't have a setting for it. Oh, there it is. Mouse sensitivity. Let me turn it down. Okay, that should be easier. Alright. Hopefully I don't get wrecked as much now.
Jammed.
Let's do some investigating. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Won't budge.
Well, I believe this is directing us to go one way.
Help me, Padre!
Ah! Well, I could save him right away, but... Oh, new journal entry. This looks like it could be a door. Oh, it is a door. Secret? Gain an amplifier. Ooh, I forget what those do. Okay, the strange crystalline stone seems to be a source of finite power that I may use to increase my power and effectiveness of my spellcasting. Must keep my eyes peeled and ears open for a pinkish hue and low hum. Joseph's note. I've just returned from the Standing Stones. Whatever inspired an ancient people to build these stones out of the windswept isle, I cannot guess. While I have seen sights like this before, something about the stones has resonates within me. Why would ancient people trouble themselves to build these monoliths on such an isolated island? It would have been far easier to establish a similar ritual area on the mainland itself. I find it curious that for as long as my family has owned this house, no one has taken it upon themselves to truly research the land which we own. Considering I had not returned to the manor since I was a child, I never realized the curious nature of my inheritance. Why does this area have such a strange collection of archaeological artifacts? While I strongly doubt there is any connection between Neolithic stones, a decaying monastery, and the tower that the estate was built and wraps itself around, the significance of 3 major archaeological sites cannot be denied. The tower is a local legend itself. Supposedly during a great storm, the tower just appeared on this site. Of course, no one can tell me when this happened. All I can tell is that it is a gutted shell of what it once was. No doubt this is why it has been sealed off for so long. The monastery, now a crumbled ruin, is just a remnant of some reclusive order of monks. It seems that Ireland is dotted with these retreats. I will have to travel out to the island someday. Perhaps I will take the children. Spooky stuff. That is the okay, let's go rescue Joseph.
Won't budge.
Funnily enough, there is no dedicated reload button. Let's go see what's up.
Those beasts were after me.
What in God's name were those things?
They're called howlers. And while I've never seen one before tonight, I've heard of them for years.
Those weren't natural, my friend. We're fighting more than superstitions here.
Perhaps I was being naive not to tell you, but but there might be something more sinister at work here. When I was a boy, I encountered something I can't quite explain. You see, there was this isle of standing stones that sits just off the estate. Someone had carved a sigil into each of the stones, something indiscernible. Father had many books on the occult, one of which contained a sketch of that very symbol. I took my brothers and sisters out to the island and read from my father's book.
Well, what happened?
Something answered. The ocean began to boil, and a great wind whipped against us as we stood in the circle, and my siblings huddled to the ground in fear. Eventually, the wind died, and the sea settled. Patrick, I know it sounds like the ravings of a dying man, but I believe those standing stones had something to do with this. What has once been a taint upon this family has now begun to manifest itself.
But you told me you're dying. Doesn't this curse end with you?
Who knows? My brothers and sisters are dead, but I don't think they're really gone. I've heard some servants whispering. They think they've seen Lisbeth on the estate. My family has come for me. I sense them, Patrick. By now, you and I know the supernatural exists. You saw the Howlers. And what about our encounters with the Tersante during the war? You still even carry the Gelzebah stone with you.
It's a token of the shaman's life I took. That's all.
I found a scroll with a picture of the Gelzebah on it. I believe it contains the way to awaken the stone's dormant power.
Very well. Let me study this scroll overnight, and I'll see what I can do in the morning.
This house still hides many secrets. I'm counting on you to reveal them and put an end to this mess.
Okay, so we have a new journal entry. We also have this scroll here. Okay, let's check this out. Piece to the puzzle. The scream downstairs was the result of an attack by a beast, something Jeremiah calls a howler. Similar to a dog, the animal was pale in complexion, had claws as long as my arm, and could leap several meters from a dead stop. I killed the fiend, but before I could thoroughly inspect the corpse, it vanished without a trace. Upon questioning Jeremiah, I'm a little more unnerved than I was after seeing the howler. He told me a story involving his brothers and sisters, an isle of standing stones, and a sorcery book of his late father's. Apparently the Covenant children, led by Jeremiah, went to the island and read from this strange book. He maintains it was simply a prank to scare his kin. He believes something from within the ring of stones answered back, raging the sea, angering the wind, and shaking the earth. Since that time, Jeremiah has been visited by terrible misfortune. All of his brothers and sisters have passed away. I recall one late night in a foxhole, Jeremiah showed me a picture of his youngest sister, Elizabeth. No more than a teenager, she was so striking. I found it hard to concentrate on his descriptions of the others. Anyways, Jeremiah's not completely convinced they are indeed dead. Well, to be precise, he's not sure they have remained dead. I suspect that these are delusions brought on by his memory of that day at the stones. Otherwise, I can only imagine that this is a terrible prank played upon a dying man. But if these are only delusions, why not inform me of them when we first spoke? Why would he not write me of such in his letters? Perhaps he did not think I would come. Let's pick this up. Ectoplasm. So let's check our journal and what this does real quick. The scroll Jeremiah gave me has revealed a powerful spell. It seems that with proper concentration and focus of my mana, I'm able to release ethereal bolts of ectoplasm from my hand. Unreliable at far range, the mystical damage seems quite effective in close quarters. So, if I try to remember... R. Okay, R lets me choose my spell. Yes, but you know what? I have my paintings here. Fix it here. And some more bullets, which I'm going to be needing. Grab those. Here's my bed. Check around here. But you know what? I think this is a perfect place to leave off for now. Nice little introduction to Clive Barker's Undying. Let me save it real quick. Save. Am I sure? Yes. Okay. But yeah, we'll leave it off for here and return with this tomorrow until Halloween. think I hear my neighbor driving off with this loud truck. But yes, this has been Deadly Habit. Be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying this. Check out the other content, and have a spook